Hey everyone, welcome to the Complete History of Music Part 1, Antiquity and Medieval Music. So what we're going to do in this class is we're going to start all the way at the beginning, the oldest records that we have of music happening. We're going to start by talking about those. We're going to follow some historians, what people have learned throughout the last couple centuries about music in this time, and we're going to work our way up into the medieval period. We'll end this class just before the Renaissance, and then in the part 2 of the class, we'll pick up with the Renaissance and go from there. So along the way in this class, we'll be talking about ancient Greece, we'll move into the Christian church, and then talk about how through Gregorian chant and things like that, systems for putting notes together start to evolve, which is our earliest form of music theory. So we'll look at how that comes into play. And we'll look a little bit deeper at Gregorian chant, the different forms, the different types, whole bunch of examples. We'll talk about secular music that was happening at the time. That would be any music that's not part of the church. That would be things like your bards, your troubadours, your minstrels, things like that. And then lastly, we'll work our way into talking about how that music started to evolve into the next big period in history, which we're going to cover in the next class. But it starts in the medieval period with a couple big developments that happened. And we'll get to that right at the end of this class. So this class is all about music history, but there's a little bit of geography, there's a little bit of philosophy, there's a little bit of just kind of a lot of different categories of stuff that we're going to cover in this class. So I hope you decide to join us. It's going to be a really fun class. We're going to listen to a lot of music. We're going to learn a lot of stuff. So let's dive in. Now, what archaeologists have been able to find there is both some instruments and drawings and evidence of music happening back then. And what those drawings tell us is how music was used back then, which is really fascinating to me. Really similar to us, actually. They had music, specific music, very difficult to find traces of what this music actually sounded like. However, there are a few pieces of music that scholars pretty much agree on how to interpret them, which means we can hear them. So this is one. This is believed to be the oldest complete composition. This is how it's written on this stone column. Secular. They're an ancestor to troubadour songs. That might be a term that you've heard before, is the troubadour, kind of the traveling singer. We'll talk more about troubadours in just a minute, in probably the next video or two. But these verses songs, they originated about the 12th century. They were sung in Latin, rhyming text, and they were not based on chant, but were new melodies. Okay, so remember, in a lot of chant, you had a set number of melodies that were used in different ways. These were more free form.